The story begins. The heroine of the anime is named Hina. She is sitting and sewing her stuffed bear. Her mother asks why Hina still hasn't unpacked her belongings. Since she is now a high school student, her mother wants her to be more independent. Her mom tells Hina to go out and buy some trash bags. Hina agrees and heads outside to buy them. When she steps outside, she admits that the air feels very refreshing at the moment. Hina also drops by the Ashia fish market, and she suddenly remembers her memories with her grandfather. At first, Hina was very worried about moving back to the countryside, but now she feels that her current life is very comfortable. Even though this place has a strong smell of seafood, Hina thinks that as long as she joins the handicraft club, she can simply enjoy her student life. Suddenly, a sea creature crawls onto Hina's hand. She can only scream loudly in fear. She admits that even though the sea is beautiful, it's full of scary creatures. Now she's afraid she might not fit in with this place. She notices someone behaving suspiciously, so she immediately rushes toward that person. Hina thinks the girl is in trouble and wants to call an ambulance. But unexpectedly, the one who falls down is Hina herself. At this moment, the older girl finally understands why Hina came here. Because Hina thought she had heat stroke and rushed over to help. So the girl apologizes for making Hina misunderstand. She explains that she's just fishing. The senior girl is trying to untangle her fishing line, but the string seems a bit too tangled, so she thinks she might as well cut it off. Hina then asks for permission to help untangle the line. While doing so, the two continue chatting. Unexpectedly, they realize they attend the same school, so they introduce themselves to each other. Hina introduces her full name as Tsurugi Hina, and she is happy to meet her senior. The older girl introduces herself as Kuroiwa, and she's also happy to meet Hina. At this moment, Hina finally untangles the line. Hina shares that she loves handicrafts, so she is really good at entangling strings. Suddenly, Kuroiwa asks Hina if she wants to try fishing. Hina says she has never fished before, but the senior believes Hina can do it, because fishing is relatively easy. So Hina agrees to give it a try. She doesn't know whether she'll succeed or not. Kuroiwa patiently instructs Hina step by step. She says, first, just drop the bait into the water, and she tells her to slowly release the line until it sinks to the bottom. Suddenly, Hina feels the hook bump into something. The senior advises her to tug the line a few times, because if something bites the hook, the line will feel heavier. Hina follows the instructions without knowing what's happening. When she still doesn't feel anything, the senior guides her to proceed to the next step. So the two of them go through the simple fishing steps together. But Hina has no idea what she's doing anymore. Kuroiwa asks whether Hina likes the sea. Hina answers, I admit I really enjoy looking at the sea. She especially loves watching the sunset. Even though she doesn't know how to swim, they continue chatting. Suddenly, Hina feels the fishing line stop moving. It seems to be caught on something. Kuroiwa guesses that she might have caught something really big, so she tells Hina to pull it up strongly. Hearing that, Hina quickly gathers her strength and pulls the line, and then the line finally comes up. Unexpectedly, she caught an octopus on her first try. Hina feels both excited and terrified, but she's also scared of the octopus. Kuroiwa then reveals that this is an octopus fishing line. Hina begs her senior to help remove it from the hook. Kuroiwa is about to help her, when she suddenly brings up the idea of Hina joining her club. Their club currently doesn't have enough members, so the club might be shut down. At that moment, the octopus keeps crawling closer to Hina. Kuroiwa takes this chance to pressure Hina into joining the club, which makes Hina accept the request. Then Kuroiwa helps remove the octopus for her. Hina still doesn't know what kind of club she just joined. Kuroiwa says she wants to bring the octopus back to make sashimi. After returning, Kuroiwa immediately begins preparing the octopus. Hina sees it, and she faints right on the spot. When she wakes up, she finds herself in a room full of fish-related items. Kuroiwa is happy she woke up, and explains that this is the fishing club room. She also apologizes for everything. Now Hina finally realizes that this is a fishing club. Kuroiwa welcomes her to the Seawall Fishing Club. Since their school is near the sea, fishing is essential, and there are many other activities too. Hina admits that she knows nothing about fish, and has never touched a live fish before. But the senior believes she will get used to it. She shows Hina how she gutted the octopus. Hina faints again at the sight. And then the next day, the opening ceremony finally arrives. All the students of Amino High School welcome the new school year. The principal gives a speech before the ceremony begins. Hina still remembers that Kuroiwa asked her to come to the opening ceremony. After class, she has to go to the club. Clearly, she doesn't want to go at all. Her classmates are also talking about that strange Seawall Fishing Club. Hina keeps looking toward the handicraft club and imagining things. She thinks about quitting the Seawall Club, but she knows Kuroiwa won't let her leave easily. And so Hina still goes there as promised. But at this moment, no one else is there. She decides to take out her sewing needle. She finishes stitching the shirt and stuffs the heart inside. Then she sees someone in school uniform fishing nearby. That girl is incredibly skilled at casting the fishing rod. Hina walks over and tries talking to her. The girl recognizes Hina immediately and runs to hug her. She says she has known Hina since before and asks how she has been. She reminds Hina that they haven't seen each other since elementary school. Hina still cannot remember who she is. Another bug suddenly clings onto Hina's hand. She again looks around desperately for help. The girl laughs, saying Hina hasn't changed at all. She's still scared of insects just like before. She brings up the time they caught cicadas together. Hina still doesn't remember anything. The girl continues recalling old stories. She lifts a lock of hair on her head as a clue to remind Hina. And finally, Hina realizes it's Natsumi. The two chat and catch up after so many years apart. Natsumi is shocked that Hina joined the fishing club. A tall girl suddenly appears. That's the giant-sized Ono senpai. Hina is introduced to her as well. Kuroiwa arrives right afterward. Everyone keeps talking loudly and excitedly. Then they all head inside together. Kuroiwa still acts very strange in Hina's eyes. Hina intends to talk about quitting the club, but Kuroiwa quickly suggests that everyone should introduce themselves again. Each member takes turns sharing their name once more. Natsumi introduces Hina for her, because she knows Hina used to visit this place every summer. The two of them used to be very close friends. Natsumi says she is happy they can go to the same school again. She believes it must be fate. Hina then learns that the club only has 4 members including herself. Kuroiwa wants everyone to try their best to have fun together. Hina finally says she actually came to ask about quitting, because she knows nothing about fishing. Kuroiwa apologizes for forcing her to join, but she insists that their meeting must be destiny. She asks Hina to at least try fishing with everyone once, and so they all get ready to go fishing. Hina is still scared, but the members believe everything will be fine. The weather is also beautiful today, perfect for Hina's first fishing trip. Hina is still nervous and wants to finish quickly so she can go home. The group prepares their equipment. Hina wonders why everyone wears school uniforms to go fishing. Natsumi prepares the bait. She says all they need is breadcrumbs and shrimp mixed with seawater. Hina admits it smells really fishy. Natsumi laughs and says city girls are hopeless. Kuroiwa asks Hina to look into the water. Hina spots a jellyfish. Underneath it, many fish are swimming. They are mackerel. When young, they taste great fried. The Seawall Fishing Club's motto is, "Catch and eat anything we catch." Hina is given a rod with many hooks attached. The first step is to add the bait. After that, she needs to adjust the rod. Hook her index finger around the line. Then pull the loop part upward. And don't release the line too early. Then she drops the line into the water. After it reaches the bottom, she flips the loop back and reels it tight. The fish start gathering around. And of course, they begin biting the hooks. Hina pulls the line up and catches one fish. The whole group congratulates her. She gets to look at the fish closely in her hands. She is told to put the fish into the icebox immediately after catching it. The group continues fishing. Kuroiwa prefers not to rush, so she hasn't started yet. Natsumi keeps teaching Hina. She says not to pull up too quickly after the first bite. At the same time, Ono pulls up a bunch of fish. Hina decides to try again herself. She holds the line tightly. This time, she catches 2 fish at once. Natsumi wants her to remove the fish from the hooks by herself. Hina tries it. After a while, she manages to do it, and the fishing continues. Hina becomes more confident and can now do everything on her own. More and more fish are caught. By the end of the day, they have a huge haul. Ono also fries the fish on the spot for everyone to eat. This type of fish can be eaten with the bones. Hina tries one. She says it tastes unbelievably good. The group keeps enjoying the freshly fried fish together. Kuroiwa asks Hina how she feels about fishing. Hina admits it's an amazing experience. It's finally time for the group to clean up. The surprising part is that Hina asks for permission to officially join the club. Of course, everyone warmly welcomes Hina. Then they continue cleaning up before heading home. Hina once again gets scared by all the little sea bugs. She returns home after a long and tiring day. Her mother is surprised to see the big batch of fish she caught. Hina admits that she has joined the fishing club. Her mother is shocked because she thought Hina joined the handicraft club. But she still respects her daughter's decision. She even wants Hina to catch lots of fish to bring home for the family. All the fish have already been cleaned and prepared. Hina says her senior taught her how to fry them with vinegar seasoning for amazing flavor. Her father returns from work and asks about the Seawall Fishing Club. He says it brings back memories. Because the club has existed since his school days. It was founded when the school first opened, and it has always attracted some very eccentric people. Hina admits it still feels that way now. Then she heads off to shower and get ready for dinner with her family. Her parents are still worried about her adjusting to her new life. And then a new day begins. Early in the morning, Hina bikes to school. Natsumi races at full speed to catch up with her. Hina tells her that her mom fried some fish for lunch, so she's really looking forward to lunchtime. The two of them agree to swap food with each other. Hina still remembers the thrill of catching fish yesterday. Natsumi says once you taste it, you'll never stop wanting more. The two happily head to school together. When they reach the classrooms, they go their separate ways. Today, Hina has a physical fitness test in her class. As expected, she performs terribly in every event. She can't reach the average score in any category. By lunchtime, she has no energy left. Natsumi shares a bite with her to help her recover. Hina gives some of her food in return. They enjoy lunch together. Both agree that everything tastes amazing. They promise to try their best at the club today. Then it's time to head back. Hina is exhausted because the club is so far away. After a while, the two finally arrive. Kuroiwa has already arrived before them. They enter the room and greet their senior. She says she came early just to take a nap. Hina asks what they are going to fish today. But Kuroiwa isn't interested today and just wants to lie down. She only wants to sleep comfortably. Hina feels like she was foolish for expecting anything. But suddenly Kuroiwa remembers something. She takes out a pile of tangled fishing reels. She asks the two of them to help untangle the mess. Natsumi thinks going fishing with Hina would make more sense. She believes Hina misunderstood something. Because this is actually a club tradition. New members must untangle the fishing lines. This ritual is extremely delicate and important. Every member has done it. Natsumi tells Hina not to take it too seriously. But since this is Hina's hobby, she decides to stay and do it. Without another word, she starts working. In just 1 minute and 30 seconds, she surpasses her own limits. But the inner tangled lines make her less confident. Natsumi suggests opening the reel completely. So they open it and begin cleaning it. Because seawater causes rust, it has to be cleaned often. After a while, the two finish all the work. Kuroiwa praises both of them for doing a great job. Ono finally arrives. She says she just finished her duties at school. Kuroiwa asks permission to leave early because she feels exhausted. Ono sees all the reels cleaned and untangled. She knows immediately that Kuroiwa made the new members do it. And the truth is exposed. There is no such tradition at all. Natsumi knew right away it was a prank. Kuroiwa just wanted to fully take advantage of Hina's talent. Hina wants to know whether her senior really intended that. And then she is given her own rod and fishing reel. It is a gift of appreciation for working so hard. Natsumi wants a gift too. But she gets ignored. Hina thanks her senior once again. Kuroiwa also promises to teach Hina some basic fishing techniques. The first one is casting the line. It's how you throw the hook or bait toward the spot you aim for. Natsumi believes Hina can do it, comparing it to throwing a ball in PE class. Hearing that, Hina is sure she's doomed. She then takes out her sewing needle again. She finishes stitching the shirt and stuffs the heart inside. The members give her lots of encouragement so she can regain confidence and calm down. Then it's time for the whole group to head out to fish. Ono Senpei becomes her instructor. First, she must look behind her to make sure no one is standing there. Next, open the reel and prepare the line. Let out about 40 centimeters of loose line. Then get into position. Aim carefully at the target spot. Adjust body weight. And finally, cast the line. Hina admits her senior looks incredibly cool. Ono also wants Hina to try it herself. So Hina follows the instructions step by step, whispering the guidance to herself while doing it. Then she casts the rod. But unexpectedly, the line hooks onto Natsumi's skirt. Natsumi is understandably annoyed. Ono wants Hina to aim at the 11 o'clock direction when casting. Instructions continue non-stop, but Hina can't understand anything and feels overwhelmed. So Kuroiwa decides to explain again from the beginning. She says to hold the rod between the middle finger and ring finger. Don't use strength when casting. Let the bend of the rod generate the power. Then simply cast it gently. Imagine releasing the line when the fingers pass the ear. This time, even Natsumi joins in and admits Kuroiwa really looks like a club president. Hina tries again. Natsumi stands much farther away just to be safe. Hina casts again, but no matter what, Natsumi still gets hit. She keeps hiding, yet she still gets hooked over and over again. Natsumi feels like she's a magnet stuck to Hina. Hina becomes extremely disappointed in herself. So the group changes the teaching plan. Kuroiwa draws Natsumi's face on a buoy, then throws it into the sea. She believes this will help Hina aim better. Natsumi hides once more. This time, Hina casts while angrily shouting, "You idiot!" And surprisingly, she succeeds in casting correctly. Natsumi can't believe it actually worked. She refuses to lose to Hina. So she grabs a rod and starts fishing too. Natsumi is aiming at a big fish. Hina doesn't know what to do when a fish bites the hook. Ono reminds her that her line doesn't even have a hook on it. So the group simply continues relaxing together. Time passes, and it soon becomes evening. Kuroiwa thinks they should stop for today. But Natsumi wants to fish a little longer. Right as she says that, her rod gets a bite. She struggles for a moment, but the fish slips away. Hina guesses it was a sea bass. She says it looked terrifying. Ono notices how scared Hina is of big fish. So she lies and says sea bass are very gentle. Kuroiwa also helps stop Natsumi from revealing the truth. The group heads back home together. Kuroiwa says that tomorrow they will go fishing for flathead fish. Natsumi shows Hina a picture so she knows what it looks like. Hina sees the picture and becomes terrified again. The truth is, she was tricked. Natsumi thinks this is karma for hitting her with the fishing rod earlier. When Hina returns home, she goes online to research flathead fish. After reading all the information, it's time to look at the pictures. She gathers her courage and looks. She surprisingly doesn't feel scared. She admits the fish actually has a pretty funny looking face. Luckily, it's not as terrifying as the fish Natsumi showed her. She believes that as long as it's not huge, everything will be fine. Her father walks in to talk to her. Seeing her studying fish, he hopes she can catch some for him to enjoy with drinks. The next day, the whole group gathers again. Today, they will fish at Kamegahama. It's a beach area. Flathead fish usually live buried in sand, but around this area, it's mostly rocks, so there won't be any here. Based on her research, Hina knows they hide in the sand and ambush smaller fish. Today, the equipment they need is quite a lot. Kuroiwa solves this by bringing a special pulling cart. It's known as the King of the Sea. All the gear is loaded up and ready. Kuroiwa tells Hina to take good care of her fishing rod. Everything is set. The group is determined and sets off again. After traveling for a while, they finally arrive. Everyone starts preparing once more. The beach here is incredibly beautiful. Natsumi mentions she and Hina used to come here to play. Then they head to the main fishing spot. Kuroiwa explains the method for catching this fish again. First, the bait used is a soft lure. It's a type of rubber bait that imitates small fish. People also call it the worm. It will be attached to a special type of hook. Kuroiwa continues showing the process. And just like that, it's done. She then teaches how to drag the lure across the sand. She uses her hand as an example of the sandy floor. When the bait touches the bottom, pull it up slightly, then drop it down again, and repeat the motion over and over. Eventually, the fish will appear and snap at the lure. Hina receives her hook. She still doesn't know how to tie the bait onto it. Natsumi volunteers immediately. She begins teaching Hina step by step. First, thread the line and wrap it to secure the hook. Use a bit of saliva to tighten the knot and make it stronger. Then cut off the excess line, and it's done. Hina also manages to do it. To her, it feels just like threading sewing string. Natsumi explains that this is called a knot. Then comes the part where they attach the bait. She continues guiding Hina. Simply replace the head of the soft lure with the hook. Then push the hook into the center of the bait. Hina tries her best, and she succeeds beautifully. She is determined to keep the promise she made to her father. The group explains that flathead fish are very big, so catching just one is enough. Hearing that, Hina panics again. She doesn't have the courage to catch a giant fish. Natsumi comforts and encourages her. Then their fishing session begins. So far, Hina has only been catching trash. Kuroiwa hasn't caught anything either. Hina is haunted by the thought of a 60-centimeter fish. She doesn't dare catch anything that big. Natsumi and Ono share the same fate. After all, flathead fish are extremely difficult to catch. Natsumi is determined to catch a bigger one than Hina, but she ends up catching a pile of trash. She decides to move to another spot. Kuroiwa tells Hina this is called running fishing. Sometimes, it's surprisingly effective. Hina wonders why her senior doesn't seem to care about whether she catches fish. Kuroiwa explains that catching something is nice, but that's not the true purpose of fishing for her. Hina continues pulling up trash and feels disappointed. Kuroiwa says sometimes the fish can see through her. If the lure moves unnaturally, fish will know it's fake. But if the bait moves smoothly and naturally, the fish will believe it's real. Hina admits fish are incredibly smart. Then she decides to try again. She follows her senior's instructions, closes her eyes and imagines the movement. She can feel her hook moving beneath the water. She admits it's amazing to sense what's happening underwater. She continues relaxing while trying to move the lure naturally. She has to make it look like a real living creature. Then she feels something. She pulls the rod immediately. But it's still just trash. Even so, she is determined to catch a flathead fish no matter what. But again and again, she only pulls up random junk. After 77 tries and 49 failures, Hina gathers a whole pile of trash. She still refuses to give up. This time, something bites the line. She assumes it's just trash again. But suddenly, she gets dragged forward. Kuroiwa rushes over to help her. She tells Hina to calm down and handle it slowly. Natsumi notices that Hina actually hooked a fish. Hina keeps trying with all her strength. Kuroiwa confirms it's a flathead fish. And not just that, it's a big one. Everyone cheers and encourages her. Hina uses all her might to pull it up, but she gets pulled back in the opposite direction. Fortunately, Ono steps in just in time to help. And at last, the fish is pulled all the way in. Kuroiwa continues instructing her step by step. Then they finally manage to bring it out successfully. The whole group celebrates her achievement. Hina is overwhelmed and terrified. She scolds the dumb fish for daring to drag her toward the sea. The whole group can't stop laughing at the situation. Their fishing day comes to an end. Hina is the only one who caught a fish. She still hasn't recovered from catching something so big. Everything is now ready for processing. Kuroiwa wants Hina to fillet the fish herself, because she's the one who caught it. Of course, she can't do it, so Ono will take over the cutting. In return, Hina still has to handle the fish afterward. This is the responsibility of the one who caught it. When she hears, "handle it," she realizes it means, "kill it," and she panics. Ono begins instructing her on how to handle the fish. Hina tries her best to follow the directions, but she doesn't have the courage to do it. Everyone keeps telling her to hurry up. She takes a deep breath and finally does it. The flathead fish feast begins. But Hina is still traumatized by the earlier scene. As the one who caught it, she is given the first bite. She tastes the meat. One bite feels like tasting the finest flavor in the world. Kuroiwa tells her next time she has to learn to cook it herself. Hina reflects on the responsibility of catching a fish. She is given the special dish reserved for the one who caught it, and that special dish is the fish head. When she sees it, she freezes in horror. The next day, the group meets up to go shopping together. They travel by train. The two seniors are late because they went to buy oranges. Everyone enjoys eating the oranges while riding the train. Soon, they arrive at Yamanora station. The reason for today's shopping trip is because, after yesterday's meal, Kuroiwa realized Hina doesn't own any proper equipment for fishing trips. So the group decided they would take her shopping. They chatter happily on the train. The members know Hina brought a lot of money today, so they tease her about going out to eat after buying everything. After a while, they reach the store. Hina is stunned by everything inside. This store is like heaven for fishing lovers. It's the biggest fishing store in the region. Natsumi finds the fishing clothing section. Hina excitedly hopes to find something cute to wear. But the result is, nothing looks cute at all. Ono realizes Hina misunderstood. The clothes in this section are men's clothes. Natsumi apologizes because she read the sign wrong. They go upstairs, and Hina starts drooling with excitement, because all the clothes here are super adorable. Natsumi also tries on some clothes for herself. Ono chooses a few outfits that fit her large body frame. Hina and Natsumi wonder whether anything will actually fit their giant senior. Hina then continues picking hats. Kuroiwa has already chosen one and believes Hina will love it. Hina keeps searching for a jacket that suits her, but she realizes everything here is extremely expensive. For now, only the hat fits her budget. Hina keeps looking around. Then she finds a discounted jacket section. She manages to find a jacket she really likes. The price also fits her budget. But if she buys it, she won't have enough money to buy the hat. Natsumi advises her to buy the jacket first, because she won't get another chance to catch such a good sale. Hina agrees with her friend. The group heads back after finishing their shopping. Hina promises to wear the new jacket to the club tomorrow. Natsumi also buys something for herself. Then everyone returns home together by train. Suddenly, Natsumi gives Hina a present. Inside the bag is the hat she couldn't afford earlier. It's a gift from the two seniors and Natsumi. Hina feels embarrassed receiving such kindness, but they all say it's nothing big. She thanks them sincerely, deeply touched by the gift. The group continues chatting happily together. Natsumi gets teased by the two seniors for her idea. The next day, Hina puts on her new outfit and heads to the club. Today, the group will go squid fishing. In spring, squids move into shallow areas to lay eggs on seaweed. So this is the perfect chance to enjoy fresh squid dishes, especially freshly caught squid sashimi. After hearing that, Hina really wants to catch some. The first step is preparing the bait. Squid bait is shaped like a shrimp. This type of lure is called EGI. Hina admits it's colorful and adorable. Next is attaching the lure to the rod. Squid fishing uses PE line. After that, another line is tied to the rod tip. The two lines have different elasticity levels, which helps control the EGI better. It also reduces the chance of the line breaking when caught on rocks. Natsumi ties the knot again. Hina wants to try doing it herself. Kuroiwa praises her, saying her knot is even better than Natsumi's. Now they only need to attach the EGI, and it's done. Ono finally arrives. Then the whole group heads out together. They chill and sing songs along the way. After a while, they reach the fishing spot. Natsumi begins teaching Hina how to fish for squid. Hina can't resist teasing her a little. Then they begin. First, swing the rod however you like. Then wait for the EGI to sink a little. After a moment, the EGI touches the bottom. Then jerk the line upward twice to get the squid's attention. After that, let it sink again. Repeat the process over and over. Squid usually strike the EGI right after it sinks. Natsumi feels something bite, but because she tied the knot poorly, the EGI snaps off. Still, Hina now understands how squid fishing works. Natsumi gets another EGI. She is still determined not to lose to Hina. The group continues chilling while fishing for squid. Hina thinks she caught one but ends up losing another EGI. Now only 3 EGI remain. They continue anyway. Natsumi and Kuroiwa start feeling sleepy because they haven't caught anything. Time passes, and it becomes late afternoon. The group still hasn't caught a single squid. Kuroiwa thinks they should stop for today. Suddenly, Natsumi spots a big squid. She wants Hina to lure it with the EGI. The two of them immediately team up. But the squid still doesn't pay attention. They decide they need help from their 2 seniors. Ono immediately uses her own technique. Right after that, the squid reacts to the lure. And soon enough, it gets hooked. Hina rushes over, ready to scoop it up. And they succeed. It's a pretty large bigfin reef squid. Just as Hina gets closer to look at it, it sprays ink all over her jacket. Luckily, her jacket is waterproof. Then it's time to process the squid. Of course, Ono handles it skillfully. Hina admits her senior's technique is truly impressive. And the group enjoys another delicious seafood dinner together. The person who caught it always gets the first bite. And it tastes absolutely amazing. Hina promises she will definitely catch one herself next time. That's how she experiences another full day of squid fishing. A new day begins. Early in the morning, Kuroiwa bikes to school. She wonders what they should fish for today. Then she realizes it's the perfect moment. The tide is extremely low. This is the ideal opportunity. Hina arrives at the club wearing her new outfit. The squid ink on her jacket has already been cleaned. All thanks to Natsumi and Ono's help. Her seniors explain that salt can easily dissolve squid melanin. Hina asks about Natsumi's uniform. Natsumi quickly changes into her club outfit. Hina admits it looks great on her. She then wonders why the group always wears school uniforms when fishing. Natsumi thinks for a moment and agrees it's strange. She turns to ask Ono. Ono explains it's an old rule. Members of the Seawall Fishing Club must wear school or PE uniforms. But they can add jackets on top. Kuroiwa arrives shortly after. She notices Hina is very excited today. Hina still doesn't know what they're going to do. When they arrive, she's shocked. She never expected the place to look like this. Kuroiwa explains this tidal flat is known only by locals, which means the group can dig for clams as much as they like. Normally, entering this place requires a fee per person, or payment based on how many clams are collected. Because of that, the club won't be fishing today. Kuroiwa tells her there are plenty of activities to enjoy at the seaside. Japanese clams are extremely delicious, steamed with sake or grilled with butter. Hina is disappointed that they won't be fishing, and that she wore her PE uniform for nothing. Natsumi says it's fun anyway and wants them to start right away. Hina refuses to touch the mud. She's scared something might be hiding underneath. Natsumi says it's fine, and even more comfortable than it looks. Hina refuses to joke around with her, but Natsumi refuses to let her off so easily. She continues teasing and scaring Hina. Kuroiwa begins digging for clams, and immediately finds a few. Ono feels like the moment is perfect. Kuroiwa agrees they won't find 2 more energetic members than these 2. The chaotic teasing continues, but while messing around, the 2 girls forget they've walked into the deep mud area. Hina thinks Natsumi deserves it. She tries to walk away but gets stuck too. Neither of them can pull their legs out. They panic and blame each other non-stop. Natsumi slips and falls, but she tries to grab onto Hina. The 2 continue struggling in the mud. The seniors knew this would happen. Both girls call for help. Kuroiwa immediately refuses, saying it serves them right for not listening. She wants Ono to continue digging calmly. Ono even reminds them that last year someone got stuck until the tide came in. And a helicopter had to rescue them. If not, they could have died for sure. Natsumi still can't lift herself out. She even pulls down Hina's pants while trying. And then, of course, both of them fall into the mud together. Hina admits the sky looks incredibly blue. The two of them return together. But their clothes are muddy from head to toe. They used all their strength to escape that muddy pit. Hina has now learned how dangerous tidal flats can be. She also feels her feet sinking into the cold mud. At first, it felt disgusting, but now she actually enjoys it. She senses something beneath her foot. When she picks it up, it's a hard-shelled Asian clam. It's an extremely rare one. Her senior says she's very lucky and clearly has talent. Natsumi thinks this will be her unforgettable muddy memory. The two begin teasing and playing around again. And so their clam digging day comes to an end. The clams are soaked overnight to expel all the sand. Without that step, they're impossible to eat. The group prepares to enjoy the clams together. Just as Kuroiwa tells the juniors to wash the clams, they hear a vehicle arriving. The two immediately hide all the clams. The person visiting the club is the advisor. She asks about the club's recent activities. She introduces herself to Hina and Natsumi. Her name is Katani Sayaka, advisor of the Seawall Fishing Club and also the school nurse. Natsumi and Hina introduce themselves in return. Both sides get along pleasantly. Hina feels she's a really nice person. She came today to check on the new members and to announce that the school has approved the club's request. Kuroiwa thanks her sincerely. Hina and Natsumi wonder what request she's talking about. The teacher asks what the group has been fishing lately. Kuroiwa bluntly says, "We haven't fished at all." She shifts her questioning toward Ono. Ono looks extremely nervous. Katani notices something behind Ono. She checks and discovers the hidden pile of clams. She assumes the group is planning to eat them right now. Hina guesses they're not allowed to eat inside the club room. Katani says that's unfair, because she wants to eat with them too. Kuroiwa says her job is done and she can leave. But Hina and Natsumi invite the teacher to stay for the meal. Katani decides to buy supplies and start a clam feast immediately. Kuroiwa gives up and leaves everything to her juniors. First thing Katani does is buy beer. And she cracks open a few cans right away. She says it tastes absolutely heavenly. Kuroiwa explains to her juniors that their advisor is addicted to beer. And that she gets drunk easily. Katani calls the two girls over, meaning they now have to take responsibility. Hina and Natsumi become the two cute little attendants serving their teacher. The group continues joking and chatting. Hina asks why she became the club advisor. Katani frankly says it's because this club provides endless free drinking snacks. And honestly, nothing beats that. Ono finishes cooking the clams. Inside, the group keeps talking and laughing. The advisor is the star of all conversations. Hina still worries about today's club activity. But Katani doesn't care. She just raises her can and drinks 100%. She says that counts as completing the club activity. She also asked locals for permission to leave her bike overnight, so tonight they can party freely and go home early in the morning. The food is finally ready. The whole group enjoys the delicious clams together. The advisor casually takes the first bite, but no one complains. Hina gets to try the clams too. As expected, they taste amazing. The advisor keeps drinking and eating non-stop. Within 1 minute and 30 seconds, all beer and food disappear. Then she switches into chaotic drunk mode. She cries while thanking Ono for always cooking delicious meals for her. Hina and Natsumi can't believe what they're seeing. They never imagined their advisor was this chaotic. After a while, Katani falls asleep on the floor. Hina never expected the club advisor to be like this. Now the group finally has some quiet space to talk. The group still has a few clams left to grill. They enjoy the delicious grilled clam meat together. After a while, the rare Asian clam opens its shell. Ono adds a little soy sauce on top. The aroma is irresistible. Its meat is even thicker than Japanese clams. Hina feels embarrassed eating it alone in front of everyone. But they don't blame her, she's the one who caught it. Hina gets ready to taste it. But before she can take a bite, the advisor snatches it away. She admits it tastes unbelievably good. She thanks everyone for the meal and leaves. Kuroiwa forgets to mention that the advisor sleeps easily and wakes up instantly. Hina freezes again in disbelief. The next day, the advisor returns. Today, she wants to eat fried baby mackerel. The group is confused. She explains it's the season for mackerel. And she suddenly remembered she hadn't eaten any yet. Kuroiwa suspects she just wants to drink alcohol again and refuses. The advisor promises she won't drink beer in the club anymore. She opens her wallet, empty like the Sahara Desert. She begs the group to host a mackerel dinner tonight. She begs until Kuroiwa finally gives in. Hina doesn't understand why her senior is giving her that sly fox-like stare. The rule Kuroiwa sets is that the advisor is not allowed to drink beer. The advisor then drives Natsumi and Hina out. Since they're out of bait, Kuroiwa tells her to buy shrimp and breadcrumbs at Takoijiya. The two juniors must go buy the supplies with her. Today they will visit the store the club often goes to for bait. After traveling for a while, they arrive. Natsumi tells Hina not to be shocked when she meets the owner. The shop owner is a bald uncle. He is quite close to Natsumi. The uncle is surprised to meet Hina. She introduces herself politely. The uncle introduces himself as Akai. He is very happy to meet Hina. He is ready to teach her everything about fishing. She thinks he looks like an octopus. The uncle even asks Hina to touch his bald head, saying the hair might grow back if someone blesses it. The two finish buying the bait. They say goodbye to the uncle and return. When they arrive at the club, Kuroiwa and Ono have prepared everything. Then they head out to the fishing spot. The weather is perfect for fishing today. Hina and Natsumi believe they will catch plenty of fish. The group begins preparing the fishing lines. Today's setup is different from before. The bait basket will be placed at the bottom. Then it's time to cast the lines. The bait begins to dissolve and spread out. Hina immediately catches 2 fish at once. The group continues catching fish non-stop. The advisor is delighted seeing the club so active. And just like that, the day ends. In less than 2 hours, they've caught a good amount. Everyone is hungry. Kuroiwa wants to teach Hina how to prepare fish today. She wants Hina to try it since Ono did it last time. Hina now remembers that scary look Kuroiwa gave her back then. Kuroiwa says the more she touches fish, the more she'll get used to it. Then she'll be able to fillet flathead fish too. She must overcome her fear. With enough skill, just like Ono, she can handle everything from A to Z. She'll become a capable wife someday. Unlike someone here who's completely useless, she adds. The advisor freezes in embarrassment after hearing that. Hina becomes determined to do everything properly. Ono once again starts guiding Hina through the steps. First, squeeze the gills with your fingers. Then pull downward toward the belly. And that completes the first step. Next, use your finger to cut open the belly and rinse it clean. That's how to prepare small fish. Hina turns into a statue after watching it happen. She lies, saying her mom asked her to buy groceries so she must go home immediately. Kuroiwa and Natsumi instantly see through her excuse. And Hina begins the process of cleaning the fish. The moment she touches the gills, Hina screams. She tries, but she still can't bring herself to do it. Natsumi decides to help her. Hina wants to take things slowly, but Natsumi wants to finish quickly and neatly. The advisor watches from the side, unable to help at all. The whole group continues working together to get it done. Hina begins talking to the members while working. She imagines the small fish as a stuffed toy. She pretends she's removing the stuffing instead of the guts. And just like that, she's able to clean the fish without fear. Everyone agrees she's surprisingly skillful. Natsumi notices she's doing it completely unconsciously. After a moment, someone calls her name and she snaps back to reality. She's shocked to realize she has already cleaned so many fish. Then they remind her hands are extremely dirty. She freezes in fear once again. The next day, Hina's mother cleans out the storage room and discovers a large collection of fishing gear. She thinks they must belong to Hina's grandfather, since he used to love fishing. All the equipment can still be used for the club. Some items Hina doesn't even know how to use yet. Her mom suddenly asks her to catch mackerel for the family, because her parents absolutely love fried baby mackerel. Her father overhears their conversation. He's exhausted after working through the entire Golden Week. Hina proudly shows off her fishing and fish cleaning achievements. Both parents are proud of her, and they look forward to eating the fish she brings home. Hina picks some random gear of her grandfather's and sets out. She asks for some money to buy bait and leaves immediately. She arrives at Akai's shop. The uncle still remembers her. She asks him about bait for mackerel. He helps her right away. He also wishes her good luck in catching plenty of fish. She gathers all her strength and carries the equipment to the fishing spot. Many people are there fishing for mackerel as well. Hina plans to catch a ton of fish to impress Natsumi. She begins the process. The bait she bought is much more convenient than the club's bait. As soon as she drops the feed basket, many fish swarm around. Hina is thrilled and waits eagerly. But unexpectedly, they all swim away. She has no idea why and tries again. But the same thing happens. Frustrated, she vows to catch these annoying mackerel no matter what. Her bait becomes less and less. After a lot of effort, she finally hooks one, but it escapes before she can pull it up. Hina feels defeated and doesn't know what she's doing wrong. She receives a call from Natsumi. Hina tells her she went fishing alone. She apologizes for going without her. Natsumi hangs up immediately. 1 minute and 30 seconds later, she shows up in person. Hina says she only wanted to surprise her. Natsumi checks Hina's hook and finds it's size 7 or 8. Confirming it's a size 7. She explains it's too big and won't fit the fish's mouth. She hands Hina a new hook to replace it. She also explains Hina's rod is actually for octopus fishing. It's stiff and doesn't bend, while mackerel have soft mouths, so the hook must absorb some force to prevent tearing their mouths. Natsumi wants Hina to try using her rod instead. Hina casts again, and immediately catches 3 fish at once. She apologizes for doubting Natsumi. Then comes the issue that she can't open the fish. Natsumi guides her once again, and she does it easily this time. The 2 fish together until evening and catch a large haul. Hina admits she never thinks about anything while fishing. Natsumi comforts her, saying she'll learn a lot from her mistakes. Every day brings something interesting. No matter what happens, fishing is still the most fun. The 2 head home and part ways. Hina promises herself she will improve even more. She carries the whole batch of fish home but has no strength left. A new day begins. Natsumi and Hina chat outside the clubroom. Ono arrives as well. Meanwhile, Kuroiwa is still passed out asleep. Hina has something she wants to ask her seniors. She brings out a fishing hook she found among her grandfather's old fishing tools. Ono explains it's a burikori hook used for rock fishing. It's for catching fish that hide between gaps in seawall blocks, rocky cracks, or coral reefs. Fishing in these places is called burikori, or crevice fishing. Hearing that, Hina thinks it sounds really fun. Ono says her first fishing experience was also rock fishing. You never know which crack has fish, so dropping your hook into a chosen crevice feels exciting. If a fish bites, you must pull it up immediately. Otherwise, the fish will drag the line into the rocks and you'll have no choice but to cut the line. That's why rock fishing is so thrilling. After listening to the explanation, both Natsumi and Hina are fascinated. Ono concludes simply, rock fishing is super fun. Kuroiwa finally wakes up and overhears the topic. She suddenly craves miso soup made with rockfish. And so they decide today's mission is rock fishing. Everyone agrees and heads out. They arrive at the rocky fishing spot. As expected, there are stones everywhere. Ono explains the rockfish hide beneath these cracks. Whether the tide is low or high, as long as there is water, the fish will be there. They also exist on the opposite seawall. Natsumi says Hina isn't experienced enough to fish on that side, because fishing over there requires running and jumping across giant concrete blocks. If you fall, you could be seriously injured. Worst case, you could drown. Hearing this, Hina freezes in fear. That's why Ono thinks fishing on this side is safest. She also wants Hina to wear a life jacket just in case. Kuroiwa laughs because this scene feels nostalgic. She tries to bring up Ono's childhood memory, and Ono immediately becomes furious. Kuroiwa panics and changes the subject instantly. She suggests Natsumi should wear a life jacket too, but Natsumi proudly claims she's a great swimmer and doesn't need one. Kuroiwa warns that people who say that usually drown first. She reminds them to never underestimate the sea. Hina becomes worried for her friend. She admires how cautious her senior always is. Their hook preparation is now complete. The special shape prevents the weight and hook from getting stuck in rocks. It allows the lure to slide through cracks smoothly. Hina asks what bait they will use. Ono says worms work best. Natsumi immediately pulls up a worm picture to scare Hina. Hina freezes in fear once more. She thinks maybe going home to her mom is the safest choice. Ono tells her to calm down. Today they'll be using shredded squid as bait instead. Hina and Natsumi finish baiting their hooks. Hina is determined to start fishing right away. She chooses a spot and is confident fish are there. After the bait reaches the bottom, she jiggles the rod to lure fish. Hina feels nothing. Ono says if fish are in the crevice, they'll bite instantly, so Hina decides to switch spots. She says waiting for a bite is strangely exciting, but after a long time, she still hasn't caught anything. Ono thinks the fish may have all been caught during the holiday season. Because crevice fish populations are limited, she advises Hina to drop her hook into cracks near the seawall wall. People often overlook those spots. Rockfish love those tight gaps, but they're very difficult to aim into. Hina gives it a try. She's good at threading needles, after all, and she successfully drops the hook into the tiny opening. Surprisingly, a fish bites immediately. Ono tells Hina to stay calm and handle it slowly, and the fish is pulled up successfully. Everyone congratulates her. Hina has no idea what kind of fish it is. Natsumi tells her it's a grouper. Hina is thrilled that she managed to catch it. She admits it looks way cuter than the flathead fish. She has no idea how to remove the hook. Luckily, Natsumi stops her just in time before she hurts her hand. Hina doesn't know how to take the hook out properly. Natsumi continues guiding her. She says, "Just hold its mouth like this with one finger." Hina hesitates because she has to touch its mouth. Natsumi assures her she can do it. She says the fish definitely won't bite. Hina gathers all her courage and tries. Despite trembling, she manages to do it. Natsumi takes the chance to snap a photo of her. Then they successfully put the fish into the bag. Seeing how scared she is, Kuroiwa gives her a pair of fish-gripping tongs. Hina protests loudly, why didn't they give her these earlier? By the afternoon, each member has caught one fish. Ono asks Hina how her fishing experience was today. She says groupers pull much harder than mackerel. She really enjoyed it and wants to try this style again. Ono warns her to always be careful with rock fishing. It can get extremely dangerous. The two juniors assume their senior must have had a scary past experience. Kuroiwa wants Ono to tell the full story. So Ono shares it, the first time she went rock fishing with her dad. She was overly excited and lost her focus. She slipped and fell headfirst. Luckily, her father saved her. Since then, she always wears a life jacket. Kuroiwa exposes her. Ono still doesn't know how to swim. Ono becomes extremely embarrassed. The juniors finally understand and agree with Kuroiwa. A new day begins. The rainy season has started. Hina still tries to invite Natsumi to go fishing, but Natsumi says they should stay home and study for midterms. Hina suddenly realizes she totally forgot about exams. She hasn't studied at all. Natsumi can't believe she skipped club activities all rainy season for nothing. She suggests they study together tomorrow. Hina worries whether she'll be able to keep up. Natsumi proudly shows off her good grades. She says if Hina doesn't want to study, she'll just study alone. The next day, Hina arrives at Natsumi's house. No one seems to be home at first. Natsumi greets customers while wearing glasses today. Natsumi's mother is delighted to see Hina again. She says Hina has grown so much. But Hina can't remember any of the old memories. Her mother keeps bringing up things from the past. Hina gives her the gift her own mother prepared. Natsumi's mom wants to hear all about Hina's life. But Natsumi quickly drags Hina upstairs. Hina finally remembers the moment they reunited. She admits Natsumi and her mom look very alike. Hina enters Natsumi's room. Her younger brother is out playing today. Hina is amazed by how stylish the room is. Then they sit down and chat, reminiscing about old times. After a while, they start studying together, but Hina understands absolutely nothing. Natsumi continues explaining and tutoring her. Eventually, Hina manages to solve the questions. They get called downstairs for lunch. Since Natsumi's family runs a restaurant, the food is amazing. Natsumi proudly declares her mother's pasta is the best. Hina tries it, and it's absolutely delicious. She thanks them again for the meal. The two continue studying afterward. Hours pass, and both of them are exhausted. So they take a break and talk again. Natsumi checks the weather and is certain it will rain tomorrow. She accidentally picks up Hina's stuffed fish toy. Hina unzips its belly to show her. This is how Hina practices getting used to touching fish. Now Natsumi understands why Hina got obsessed with it and forgot to study. The two keep chatting and teasing each other happily. Natsumi also wants to make a stuffed fish like that. Hina promises she'll teach her how to make one tomorrow. The two of them promise to do their best on the upcoming exams. Natsumi remembers a video of someone fishing with yarn. They watch it and agree it looks extremely fun. So they decide they'll try fishing with yarn someday. And tonight's dinner will be grouper miso soup. After school the next day, the sky is still rainy. Kuroiwa hasn't messaged at all. So the club probably won't go fishing today. Both girls really want to go fishing. Hina misses the excitement of catching something. They keep chatting and joking around. Hina wishes their club had an indoor room at school. Natsumi calls her silly. Fishing obviously has to be done at the sea. Suddenly, Kuroiwa appears and says there is a room. Ono is also there, but the two girls didn't notice. Kuroiwa says the room even has a sofa, a bed, and a refrigerator, and they're on their way there right now. The juniors are confused. The group arrives at the nurse's office to meet the advisor. This room, surprisingly, is their club's storage space. All their gear is kept in here. Hina is absolutely delighted. The advisor asks the girls to keep things tidy. She only allows this because she cares about them. The group explains they were just joking around. Kuroiwa announces that today they'll go freshwater shrimp fishing. Hina and Natsumi cheer. They finally get to fish again. Hina wonders what freshwater shrimp even look like. Natsumi explains. They have long claws and live in brackish water. When coated in dry batter and fried, they taste insanely good. The advisor also wants some shrimp, probably to boil and enjoy with beer at night. Hina notices the shrimp rod is cute and tiny. The freshwater shrimp fishing line is also ready. Ono begins teaching them how to attach the line to the rod. First, make 2 loops and tie them to the red tip of the rod. From top to bottom, the setup is a floating bobber, a mid-level bobber, a weight, a stopper, and finally the shrimp hook. Today's bait will be imitation crab sticks taken from the advisor's fridge, her snack for drinking tonight. She protests loudly because her food is being stolen, but the group prepares anyway and heads out. Their fishing spot is a small river nearby, only 5 minutes away on foot. Ono reminds them about the fishing permit, so they stop at a convenience store to buy one. Permits can be bought per day, month, or year. In this area, a 1-day permit costs 500 yen. Unlike the sea, river fishing requires paying the local fishing association. They must also protect the shrimp population. The group continues walking while chatting and enjoying the scenery. Halfway there, it starts raining again. Luckily, they brought umbrellas. They'll fish under the bridge to stay dry. This is Hina's first time coming here. Under the bridge, they won't get wet at all. The water level isn't too low today. There are many hiding spots for shrimp. If you look closely, you can see them. Hina spots some immediately. She thinks she could just scoop them up with a net. Natsumi laughs, calling her naive. Fishing is about enjoying the process, not shortcuts. Besides, netting shrimp requires real technique. Kuroiwa loves this style of shrimp fishing. She's sure Hina hates losing and will get addicted to it. Hina is determined to fish to her heart's content after being stuck indoors for days. Kuroiwa reminds them not to forget about the advisor. If they don't bring her shrimp, she'll definitely cause trouble. After a while, Hina's expectations crumble. The shrimp keeps stealing her bait. It's because she's pulling the rod either too fast or too slow. But she absolutely refuses to admit defeat. This time, she's determined to catch those shrimp no matter what. Earlier, Kuroiwa taught her how to bait with crab sticks. Then she showed her how to fish for shrimp by watching carefully and lowering the bait slowly. After a while, a shrimp appears. All she has to do now is wait for it to bite the bait. Slowly and gently, that's the key. Hina tries right away. The shrimp pulls at her bait. But when she lifts the rod, she fails again. Natsumi tells her to wait until the shrimp bites deep enough to catch the hook. Each member has their own timing for when they pull the rod. Hina gets her bait stolen again. Everyone else keeps catching shrimp non-stop. Her situation repeats over and over again. Seeing the shrimp but not being able to catch them only frustrates her more. Kuroiwa advises her to pause for a moment when she feels weight on the line. Hina tries again following that advice. The shrimp takes the bait once more. Her seniors continue guiding her calmly. This time, she successfully catches her first shrimp. Everyone congratulates her. She starts bragging to the shrimp instead of putting it in the bucket. And she ends up dropping it back into the water. After that, Hina begins catching shrimp easily. But she's still afraid of touching them with her bare hands. Kuroiwa gives her gloves and tells her to use tongs to remove the hook. The group continues relaxing and fishing together under the rain. Hina even catches a shrimp carrying eggs. Kuroiwa says such shrimp must be released so they can lay eggs and keep next year's population alive. The rain grows heavier, so the group heads back. Freshwater shrimp can't be eaten immediately. They must purge the dirt and sand first. So they'll enjoy them tomorrow. Kuroiwa updates the advisor that they caught a lot of shrimp. The advisor rushes over immediately to pick them up. The next day, the shrimp feast begins. Ono serves as the head chef as usual, with her top-tier cooking skills. After 81 inches steps, the dishes are ready. The group enjoys grilled shrimp together. Truly a seasonal delicacy of the rainy season. The advisor tries to negotiate for permission to drink beer, but everyone refuses because they fear her drunken chaos. The next day, basic first aid class ends. Hina is exhausted from using her godly skills too much. Next up is swimming class. The two greet Ono, but she looks completely lifeless. The advisor calls the group over. She wants them to meet her at the pool after school, especially Ono, who must practice until then. Natsumi finally remembers that their senior can't swim. The two juniors immediately comfort and encourage her. Soon, the whole club is ready at the swimming pool. First comes warm-up exercises. Because the fishing club is prone to water-related accidents, these annual swimming lessons are necessary to prevent them. The two freshmen and Ono must pay extra attention. The advisor boasts about her college achievements and certifications. Then she jumps into the pool first. Kuroiwa demonstrates the technique. She dives in and floats on her back. The advisor says floating on your back is all they need to master today. She explains every step carefully. Lie on your back. Spread your arms and legs. Tilt your head back with your chin up and chest raised. Take a deep breath. Then breathe shallowly to keep air in your lungs and stay afloat. She insists it sounds complicated but is actually easy once you try. Kuroiwa ends up falling asleep in the water. The group splits into pairs to practice. Of course, Ono is too scared to even get into the pool, even though the water is shallow enough to stand, and she's wearing 2 giant life jackets. Hina, despite not knowing how to swim either, remains calm, but she still wouldn't dare enter deep water like the sea. Hina begins her practice. With help from the advisor and Natsumi, she manages to float easily. Next is Natsumi's turn. She also manages to do it easily. Meanwhile, Ono still can't calm herself down. The advisor continues teaching the group how to save someone using pool kickboards. Ono doesn't think twice and immediately clings to one. Just hugging it to her chest helps her float better. Even an ice cooler will work. The advisor says. Kuroiwa still doesn't understand why Ono never improves. The advisor proudly says she has plenty of patience left. She has even prepared self-inflating life belts. The entire group is equipped and ready. Wearing one feels like wearing nothing at all. Last time, the club didn't have enough funds, but now they can finally provide proper equipment. From now on, everyone must wear it during fishing trips. Hina wonders how it actually works. The advisor explains clearly. Inside is an automatic inflator connected to a water sensor. When someone falls into the water, the belt inflates instantly, but hearing it isn't the same as seeing it. The advisor wants Ono to demonstrate. Ono gets nervous the moment she hears her name. Soon, everyone is ready for the test. Ono trembles non-stop, imagining herself drowning. Then she jumps straight into the advisor instead of the pool. The belt activates and inflates immediately. Ono floats effortlessly on the surface. The members are amazed, it works perfectly. The advisor, however, got knocked underwater. Natsumi thinks the whole thing is hilarious. The group all jumps into the pool next, causing the advisor to sink again. She becomes furious, claiming she told them the belts only work once, and they only have 1 spare cartridge left. The group must now pay for 3 replacement cartridges, 3 pieces for 6,000 yen. And just like that, the rainy season ends. The group prepares to go fishing again. The replacement cartridges arrive just in time. Because of the constant rain, the seawater is murky today. Ono says murky water actually has many advantages. Fish can still smell bait easily, and they won't be able to see the group clearly. Rockfish will also come out to feed today, so they won't even need to drop bait into the cracks. As soon as she finishes speaking, Ono catches one immediately. The group continues their relaxing fishing time. Today is also quite sunny. Hina catches a fish, but it's too small, so she releases it. Suddenly, she faces a bird. It steals her fish and flies away. It's a heron, nicknamed the Bandit. They often approach fishermen to steal their catch. Hina despises it instantly. The group continues fishing. Hina catches another small fish, releases it again, and the same heron steals it again. Hina angrily trash talks it. She is extremely annoyed by that bird. Suddenly, she notices its leg is tangled in fishing line. One of its toes is even missing. Kuroiwa knows many careless fishermen leave trash behind, causing wildlife to get injured. The bird was lucky to lose only a few toes. Hina wants to help remove the fishing line, but her senior says it's wild, catching it will be difficult. Kuroiwa loses interest in fishing after seeing that. She tells the group they should clean up trash instead. The group immediately starts collecting garbage to protect the environment. And another day comes to an end. The group walks home together. At home, Hina is still haunted by the bird's injured foot. She never knew wild birds suffered because of discarded fishing lines. So she contacts Kuroiwa. The next day, their rescue mission begins. Hina speaks her feelings in front of the group again. She feels incredibly sorry for those birds. She even sheds crocodile tears. And so the whole group sets out to begin their rescue plan. First, Hina will catch a fish to use as bait. As expected, the bird appears immediately. She pretends she caught something to lure it in. Her acting is terrible, but the bird still comes to steal the fish. Natsumi successfully grabs both of its legs. Ono and Kuroiwa rush in to help restrain it. Finally, they capture the bird safely. Hina quickly cuts off the fishing line tangled around its foot, and everything is resolved. Hina tells the bird to fly far away and never get tangled again. But the next day, when they go fishing, it returns. Hina is furious at the stubborn bird. Summer arrives in the blink of an eye. Hina asks her senior what they'll fish for today. Kuroiwa thinks it's too hot and wants to skip, but Hina still wants to fish for something. Kuroiwa suggests she just go catch mackerel again. But that thrill of mackerel fishing no longer excites her. She wants to try catching something that fights harder. Natsumi suggests they fish for sea bass today. She describes the process. It's super thrilling and dramatic. Hina still doesn't understand, so her senior explains again. Sea bass in Japanese is called Suzuki. It's a famous species that can grow over 1 meter long. Hearing that it's even bigger than the flathead, Hina panics immediately. Kuroiwa thinks for a moment, then smiles mischievously at Hina. She decides today they'll use hand rods with floating bobbers. Natsumi has never fished with a hand rod before either. They'll still be catching mackerel, but with a completely different setup. Everyone prepares and sets off. They arrive at the fishing spot. The hand rods and lines are ready. Hina again receives guidance from her seniors on how to bait the hook. The group shares plenty of fun moments together, and soon the fishing begins. First, they scatter lots of chum to gather the fish. Today's bait is fresh shrimp, Hina's specialty. Remove the tail and hook it from bottom to top to hide the hook. The bobber must be adjusted according to the fishing depth. That's the fun of bobber fishing. Hina is extremely excited as soon as she starts. Her bobber begins to move. Her senior says it's mackerel nibbling, but she must wait until the bobber is fully pulled underwater to reel it in. Hina lifts the rod exactly as instructed, but she instantly feels this is not a mackerel. Her rod is bending completely. Kuroiwa encourages her to stay calm and handle it slowly. When the fish finally appears, despite the strong pull, it's just a tiny mackerel. Kuroiwa explains once more how hand rods work. That's why it felt so heavy. Hina admits it was really fun. She suspects her senior has some secret plan, but things seem normal so far. Yet with Kuroiwa, nothing is ever simple. Hina continues fishing. Her bobber signals again. The feeling of lifting the rod is too addictive. Kuroiwa continues guiding her, telling her she can tell if there's a catch just by watching the rod's movement. Natsumi catches a wrasse. Hina admits its colors are stunning. Ono explains more details about the species. It's released because it's too small. Hina continues trying different types of fish as instructed. The challenge is to catch 5 different species. Next, Hina catches a black sea bass, then a juvenile yellowfin, and the 5th one is a pufferfish. Hina says it looks adorable, but Natsumi warns her not to be fooled. Its teeth are sharp enough to cut fishing lines. And it's poisonous, so it can't be eaten. Hina releases it immediately. After releasing it, she doesn't catch another fish for a long time. Natsumi gets bored and switches to sea bass fishing. Hina continues fishing while chatting with her senior. As the sun sets, all the fish disappear, because small fish have to hide so they don't get eaten by the big ones. The 1 hour before and after sunrise or sunset is called the golden hour, the time when big fish hunt small fish. Natsumi arrives and wants everyone to look at something. It's the sunset, huge and bright red on the horizon. Hina thinks today is already perfect like this, but Kuroiwa tells her the main event is just beginning. She adjusts Hina's bobber and fishing line, telling her they'll be catching mackerel here. Hina thinks mackerel are too common already, but she continues anyway. Immediately, something bites the bait. The pulling force is so strong Hina can't even lift the rod. Her senior tells her the fish will get tired soon. Just raise the rod slowly and steadily. Hina uses every ounce of strength to fight the fish, and eventually it runs out of stamina before she does. Ono scoops it up. It's a massive mackerel. At this time of day, they swim from offshore to hunt smaller fish. Hina finally realizes she was tricked again. She removes the hook from her catch, looks proudly at what she caught, and can't contain her excitement. That night the group heads home. The reason is, Hina fainted just from snapping the fish's neck. Seeing the fish blood made her blood pressure drop immediately. After returning to the clubroom she feels much better. Today the group had a huge haul of big mackerels, all caught while Hina was unconscious. They begin preparing the fish. Ono is still the main chef, skillfully working while teaching her juniors. Her technique is on another level entirely. In just a moment she produces 3 perfect fillets. Then it's Hina's turn. She repeats the same old routine, and enters her plush toy mode. Imagining the fish as a stuffed animal so she can process it without fear. She manages to cut the fish, though the fillets aren't exactly beautiful. Ono adds a finishing touch, and suddenly it becomes a proper dish. The group continues preparing all the remaining fish to grill the next day. Suddenly, the club advisor arrives. She's thrilled to see they caught so many fish. And so, the next day's barbecue begins. Everyone is ready. The advisor also arrives, bringing a mountain of supplies with her. She bought plenty of drinks for herself and the group, besides orange juice and tea. Everything else is beer. She even brought a smoked grill cooker. The feast is fully and carefully prepared. The group starts cooking the fish, and the barbecue officially begins. Everyone agrees, it's insanely delicious. The next day, they continue fishing mackerel with hand rods. Hina is feeling chill as always. Suddenly, she hooks something, but when she pulls it up, it isn't a mackerel. Natsumi warns her, it's dangerous. This is a rabbitfish, and all its fins are venomous. Just looking at it makes Hina feel pain. Kuroiwa asks what the two have caught. When she hears it's rabbitfish, she wants to eat it. Natsumi tried it before and says it tastes like nothing, so they decide to release it. Kuroiwa protests fiercely. Ono arrives just in time and is immediately tasked with explaining how good rabbitfish actually is. Soon after, Hina catches another one. Ono explains that as long as it's prepared correctly, it's delicious. First, remove the head, then use a towel to tear open its belly. Its guts smell extremely strong and must be removed immediately. Once processed, the dish is complete. Natsumi admits it no longer smells fishy at all. The two taste it together and agree it's surprisingly delicious. Hina returns home and proudly shows her dad today's catch. Her father doesn't even know how delicious rabbitfish can be, so she explains everything to him right away. Her mother has already prepared dinner, with a whole selection of dishes made from fish. Hina also gets to try whiting given by the neighbors next door. She eats it and immediately agrees, it's absolutely amazing. The next day, she eagerly suggests going fishing for whiting with the club, but everyone reacts in horror at the idea. Hina insists she can definitely catch tons of whiting. The group still refuses. Something's wrong here. The bait for whiting is insanely expensive, and the bait is marine worms. Of course, Hina's soul jumps out of her body right away, yet she dares to say she'll actively participate. Compared to lugworms, marine worms are thinner and longer, and when you cut them, they release a smell whiting absolutely loves. Her senior wants her to touch it a little. Even Uncle Akai hears the commotion from outside the store. Hina quickly tattles about the situation. He asks why she's so scared of them. Knowing her fear, he shows her a fake marine worm instead. With this, she won't need to touch the real ones. Hina still thinks it looks too realistic, but she chooses to use it anyway. Kuroiwa agrees. Hina can decide for herself. Today, she wants Hina to buy all the necessary gear alone, so she can learn to be independent. Hina accepts the challenge and starts choosing equipment, only to be overwhelmed by the endless options. Her senior suggests she ask the shopkeeper. Uncle Akai is ready to help her with everything. First question: what fish does she want to catch? Whiting. For that, she'll need a light surf casting setup. He asks Hina which depth whiting live at. Naturally, she doesn't know. He explains they're called the Queen of the Sea. Perfect for tempura. They're around 20 centimeters long and often ride waves close to shore. So just a short cast is enough to reach them. The sinker helps keep the line stable and prevents tangles during the cast. Size 8 or size 10 sinkers are ideal. For hooks, use size 6, a special shape made specifically for whiting. With that, everything is prepared. Kuroiwa still buys a little real marine worm for herself. Natsumi wonders if artificial bait can really catch fish. Hina is sure it can. The group waves goodbye to Uncle Akai. They return to the club to prepare their gear again, then set off toward the beach using the Queen of the Sea. Soon, they arrive at the fishing spot. Kuroiwa walks barefoot straight into the water, and the whole group begins chilling together immediately. As always, Ono refuses to step into the water. They get distracted playing around and forget the real reason they came. Eventually, they begin preparing to fish. Hina completes her light casting setup. Everyone is ready to catch whiting. Hina is still scared of the bait. Even though it's fake, it doesn't even smell like anything. But she still refuses to touch it with her bare hands. Still, she forces herself to take it out. Ono reminds her to hook the artificial worm like when they fished for flathead. Leave about 1 centimeter hanging out and trim the excess. Hina follows the instructions successfully. She proudly shows Natsumi, but Natsumi is making bait using real marine worms. Hina immediately drops everything and runs for her life. After that, the teaching session continues. The method is similar to fishing for flathead. Reel in once every 3 seconds. Kuroiwa patiently explains every tiny detail. Just as she finishes her sentence, a fish nibbles her bait. It's only pecking. She needs to slacken the line a bit and wait. Around 30 seconds to a minute. And then, it's time to pull it up. And so the process of fishing for Salago began. The senior still didn't know whether Hina's fake bait would work or not. And then it was her turn to try. She followed exactly what her senior instructed. But she immediately failed with her very first cast. She instantly tried again right away. But the result was still terrible. And then she tried 9 times 9. 81 attempts. Swinging the rod too much made her arm unable to endure anymore. But she still refused to give up. She was also a bit sad because no fish were biting, while the other members kept catching fish non-stop. Hina realized maybe the fake bait wasn't working, and she herself didn't dare use real bait. Natsumi over here also knew clearly that fake bait wouldn't work. She felt her friend looked really pitiful. Kuroiwa Senpai wanted Hina to realize her own problem by herself. She wanted to see how far Hina could push herself. If she endured until now, of course she would give Hina some advice. And then after a while, it was time to head back. Hina was utterly disappointed for not catching anything. She also saw how everyone else caught so many fish. She admitted that using fake bait really couldn't catch anything. Then she started sulking to herself. She gave up and went home to her mother just to be safe. Natsumi and Ono wanted Kuroiwa to intervene. Not catching fish wasn't because of the fake bait. The method the senior taught was meant for real bait. The senior wanted Hina to find her own way to fish with fake bait. Tomorrow the whole group would try fishing again, and everyone would use fake bait together. That night at home she researched a lot of information online, and she learned many things. She decided that tomorrow she absolutely had to catch Salago. After school the next day, Hina excitedly rushed to the club immediately. She even scolded the members for being late. She had prepared everything needed for fishing. She was confident she would catch lots of Salago today. When they reached the fishing spot she explained to everyone again. The reason she couldn't catch Salago was due to a very important difference between fake and real bait. And that difference was the movement of the bait. Salago are extremely sensitive to movement, so fake bait cannot attract them. Therefore today they needed to extend the length of the fake bait. And also keep pulling the rod constantly to attract fish. The members cheered for her idea. Kuroiwa Senpai noticed that the packaging actually explained all of this clearly. The whole group wanted the first catch to be Hina's. Everyone watched her fish. Hina followed the method she came up with, and a fish actually bit her bait. She kept making the bait move. She was thrilled because fish kept coming to nibble. Having this happen on her first attempt made her really confident. The fish continued to eat her bait, but the results were still 0 catches. Again and again she kept failing completely. The members were still watching. Natsumi got bored and went to play with a dog. Hina moved to another fishing spot. Natsumi finished playing yet nothing had changed. Hina didn't understand why the people in the videos did it so easily. Natsumi invited her friend to drink barley tea. She was worried Hina might get heat stroke. Hina said that whenever she fishes, she forgets about time completely. The two of them talked about not being able to catch fish. Hina said she followed online videos but still couldn't do it. Natsumi continued comforting her gently, hoping her friend wouldn't worry too much. Suddenly Hina realized something was wrong. She had been blindly copying instead of thinking for herself. She continued reflecting on it. Clearly in the videos those Salago were all big ones. So she asked Natsumi and learned that yesterday the fish were around 15 centimeters long. She thought maybe her bait was too long. She cut off a part of it, thinking it wouldn't lose its appeal. Natsumi praised her friend for having good reasoning. Then she got embarrassed because Hina caught her reaction. Hina once again was determined to catch a fish. She cast her rod and continued trying. The fish were already following her bait. She decided to reduce the reeling speed a little. Everyone waited nervously, and then the moment finally came. She tried to stay calm and handle the situation. The fish was slowly reeled in, and she officially caught a Salago. Everyone congratulated her. She celebrated and shouted loudly once again. That night the whole group had a super delicious and enticing fried Salago feast. Everyone was happy because Hina found her own method and fishing style. This would be a valuable asset for each person. The senior hoped Hina would continue to grow like this. Hina still wanted to go Salago fishing again the next day. Even if the senior didn't want to go, she still wanted to go alone. The whole group realized she was truly addicted. The next day was extremely hot. Natsumi and Hina played rock paper scissors to see who would open the club. Of course Hina lost miserably. Natsumi went to get barley tea for her. Ono's senpai also arrived, and the group brewed tea together. Since there were too many bottles, Hina thought they should label each person's name. Ono noticed the two of them had a matching pair of plush toys. Back then, after the exams ended, Natsumi had visited Hina's house. Hina's mother was also very happy to see her again. She even entrusted Hina to Natsumi. Hina's mother also exposed many of her embarrassing stories. The two of them then hung out in Hina's room. Natsumi was surprised that her friend's room was full of plush toys. After that, Hina taught her how to make a fish-shaped plushie. The two of them focused intensely on making it together. After a while, they finished. Natsumi gave her fish plushie to Hina. Hina knew it was meant to exchange for her own fish plushie. But she wasn't selfish like that. The two ended up exchanging plushies. And now they each had a matching fish pair. After hearing the story, Ono also wanted to try making one. Hina immediately brought out the supplies for her senior to try. All three chilled and crafted together. After a while Kuroiwa senpai arrived. She also saw the group making plush toys. She found it very interesting. and admitted everything looked very detailed. But she didn't want to make one herself. She asked Hina to make her an octopus plushie instead. And just like that, Hina finished it in no time. Natsumi asked if her friend, who seemed so happy sewing, still wanted to join the handicraft club. But Hina was already determined to stay in the fishing club. Clearly sewing was fun too. But no place could compare to this one. She said that back then she also tried the handicraft club. But that place was full of boys. She couldn't understand why it was like that. So she quit immediately. And thus the day came to an end. The whole group happily went home together. Everyone promised that tomorrow they would catch lots of fish. The next day the advisor was jealous of the group's plush toys. Hina was also ready to make her one. She thought so hard about what plushie she wanted that everyone couldn't believe it. They were completely speechless because of her. Today's video ends here. Thank you for watching my video. Remember to like and follow my channel. And wait for the next parts. Love you all forever.